You know what? I'll be real with you. I used to be one of those people really rooting for Papoose. I thought he was getting the short end of the stick and that people were being unfair to him. And honestly, in some ways, I still feel that. But lately, something just doesn't sit right. You ever get that gut feeling that something's off, even when you can't fully explain it? Yeah, that's exactly what this feels like. Ever since Papoose started seeing Clarissa Shields, his energy seems different. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with Clarissa. She's strong, successful, and she's not unattractive by any means. But if you look at the pattern, it's interesting. Papoose went from being with Remy Ma, who's accomplished and well-off, to Clarissa, who's also financially stable and killing it in her own lane. People are starting to wonder if there's more to his choices than just love. At first, I didn't think twice. Maybe he just found someone new after things with Remy ended. But now, seeing how things are unfolding, it's hard not to question his intentions a little. Clarissa just had a major fight and won, putting the spotlight back on her, and conveniently, Papoose is right there beside her. Even TashaK, who's usually loud and controversial, made a point that actually made sense this time. And it got people talking. Suddenly, it doesn't feel like just a new relationship. It feels like a whole calculated move.
Clarissa has been taken advantage of her whole life. She's been boxing since forever. I don't know her childhood, but I do know that her best friend who grew up with her came out and made some rather disturbing videos about Clarissa being taken advantage of when she was younger as a young boxer by her coaches and getting pregnant and things like this. And so when I see people like Papoose enter the Cash App requesting money, from people like Clarissa, after Remy has already warned us that, he preyed on her when she was in jail. He wasn't making no money. It was Remy's money. And she said she put everything in his name only to come out and then have to work. And then he's getting the benefit of the solid black man, of the black man that's holding everything down. So when I look at this same thing possibly being done to Clarissa, and she's slow by default, and I'm talking about slow as in, she probably got some early stage, some issues going on, being knocked around, it does have an effect on your brain and on your cognitive thinking and stuff, and you're not able to see straight. And if she was already taken advantage of by her coaches, surely it's easier for a bum like this to come in and take advantage of her too. And so when I saw his latest post after her fight, after he let her get out the car with that Beyonce butched outfit on, I was a little disturbed by that, because I said any man in their right mind would have told their woman, no, we're not going to post the outfit just so we can reiterate and y'all can bash her for how awful she looks. But her man let her get out the car like that, okay? And then he was her hype man beside her. And so after she won, again, she's undefeated, he decided to take credit.
According to TashaK, Clarissa Shields has been taken advantage of by people around her for a long time.
According to TashaK, Clarissa Shields has been taken advantage of by people around her for years, including some of her trainers. Even while pregnant, she pushed through tough times and kept fighting. After her big win, Papoose posted, "Huge congratulations to my love Clarissa Shields on your victory. Being mentioned among the all-time greats is long overdue and completely deserved. I'm glad I could add value behind the scenes as part of your team. Special thanks to my Win Records family." But TashaK pointed out how he subtly made it about himself, raising questions about whether his support is genuine or self-promotion.
What is the behind-the-scenes executive standpoint? What does that position entail? Exactly. What behind the scenes? Clarissa was winning before she met you, but because she been getting knocked around by people and by her coaches, I just feel like Papoose is a virus that just refuses to let his hair just fall out. And he sees black women the same way that Tyler Perry does. Wants to take credit, and then from a behind-the-scenes executive standpoint, meanwhile, you the main person causing the problems. You won't get a job.
I had to really step back and look at this situation. Let's start with the obvious. Nobody really sees Papoose as a big-time executive. Sure, he's listed as head of hip-hop at 2 Core, probably making a decent salary, maybe around $200,000 a year, but he's still working for someone else. He's not running an empire, not calling all the shots. So when he talks about being an executive in Claressa Shields' boxing career, it just doesn't line up. His role in music doesn't connect to boxing at all. It's like me running a small content studio and suddenly deciding to manage a professional fighter. It doesn't make sense. What it really looks like is that Papoose might be getting too involved in Claressa's business, possibly trying to benefit financially while being personally involved. If that's true, it says a lot about where he is in life. If you're financially secure, you don't need to manage your partner's career to make extra cash. You already have your own thing going. Claressa can't really elevate his world because, from the outside, it doesn't look like he's built anything she could add to. And that's where the issue begins. When Remy Ma, his ex, called him a user or hinted he wasn't managing his business like a man should, people took notice. As accomplished as Remy is, she had a point. The pattern starts to feel familiar. Papoose moves behind Claressa, supporting her, cheering her on, which on the surface is great, but it's not a good look. He's in his 40s. At that age, you should have your life, finances, and priorities together. Chasing after a younger, successful woman in the spotlight doesn't scream maturity. At best, it looks like he's trying to stay relevant by association. Eventually, when a woman realizes she's carrying the relationship emotionally, financially, or otherwise, respect fades. That's probably what happened with Remy. At some point, she stopped seeing him as her equal. And now it looks like the same thing might be happening with Claressa. You can't repeat the same cycle and expect different results. If you're a grown man in your 40s building your future on someone else's success, you'll lose respect, not just from women, but from other men too. There's a big difference between being supportive and being dependent. Real respect comes from standing on your own 2 feet and having something solid to bring to the table. So, for any man listening, if your woman makes more money than you, that's fine. Stay out of her business. Let her shine while you build your own lane. The moment you rely on her for stability, you lose both power and pride. As for Papoose, maybe it's time to take a hard look in the mirror. He's had chances, strong women by his side, and yet he keeps ending up in the same type of situation. At some point, it's not the women, it's him. So what do you think? Is he genuinely in love with Claressa, or is he just securing a comfortable spot next to her success? There's a difference between being a loving partner and freeloading. If he's really doing well for himself, why is he constantly by her side? Most men grinding and building don't have time to shadow their partner 24/7. As an executive at 2Core, he's not making top-tier income compared to successful YouTubers, entrepreneurs, or independent artists. Always trailing behind Claressa makes it look like her bag is way bigger than his. Honestly, I don't like a man living in a woman's shadow. It feels unbalanced. Think about Jay-Z and Beyonce. Jay-Z supports his wife, but doesn't hang on her every move. He has his own empire, his own identity. That's what balance looks like. Here, Claressa shines while Papoose is catching up. The question becomes, is Claressa essentially funding his lifestyle? That's what it starts to look like. And even though TashaK has a reputation for stirring controversy, she might have a point. Her framing, that Claressa might be taken advantage of emotionally and financially, isn't hard to believe when you see the pattern. Let's not forget Papoose's history. Rumors of a gambling problem, losing a valuable watch belonging to Remy Ma, these aren't minor details. They indicate financial irresponsibility, which adds to skepticism about his intentions with Claressa. And while it's not fair to say she should have known better, love often makes people ignore red flags. At the end of the day, respect comes from independence, accountability, and balance. If you're a partner who can't stand on your own, you risk losing credibility, no matter how charming you seem. So, Papoose, it's time for a reality check. The same lessons repeat if you don't change. So, what do y'all think? Is Papoose truly invested in Claressa, or is he riding her coattails? Drop your thoughts below. It's your boy OD Jackson back with another breakdown. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this. Stay sharp and keep your business solid.